Hey guys, Meredith Baker here for On the Map, Off the Radar. In my home city of Houston, Texas, covering an issue that is very important to me. On November 3rd, Houstonians everywhere will vote for the Houston Equal Rights Ordinance, which will ensure, if it's passed, protection against discrimination based on race, ethnicity, gender, and multiple other number of categories. Houston is the fourth largest city in the country, about to become the third and surpass Chicago. It's also the largest city with an openly gay mayor, Anise Parker. But ironically, it's also the largest city that doesn't have an equal rights ordinance in place, meaning that it is perfectly legal for companies, businesses, landowners to discriminate against people. So here we have advocate for HERO, the bill or ordinance, Chris Valdez, to talk with us a little bit about what's going to happen leading up to the ordinance on November 3rd. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for being here.
And could you explain in greater detail what the Houston Equal Rights Ordinance is?
It protects or prohibits discrimination based on 15 different categories: sex, race, color, ethnicity, national origin, age, familial status, marital status, military status, so our veterans, religion, disability, sexual orientation, genetic information, gender identity, and pregnancy.
Wow. So basically, if you're a human, it will protect you and you're covered under this ordinance.
Yes.
And I mean, it seems like common sense to pass something like this. So what have opposition leaders been saying against it?
The opposition has spent a lot of time, money, and energy creating these very extreme sort of messages around that in some way this ordinance allows men to enter women's bathrooms to assault or harass women. And the fact of the matter is that that's illegal today. It'll be illegal if this ordinance passes.
It's a separate issue.
It's a completely separate issue.
And they're trying to confuse people into thinking that the bill or the ordinance will allow for something like that.
That's right.
And as you said before, it's a civil rights issue. It's not, it's plain and simple.
Right, this is a civil rights issue. If we look at the data since May of 2014, the incidents of discrimination that have been reported in the city of Houston have 54% of those have been race-based. That's followed by age-based discrimination, and then discrimination based on someone's familial status. So families who have a non-traditional setup, maybe they've chosen to adopt children or they foster children. Or other instances.
Wow, and I mean that statistic is especially alarming in a city like Houston, which is one of the most diverse cities in the country and where I believe prides itself on being open to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Houston, as we talked about before, has been cited on numerous occasions as a great place to live as a young person, as a great place for business, and we fostered this reputation for being open and inclusive and as well as diverse.
And what message would that send if this ordinance didn't pass then, especially because it's in the hands of Houstonians themselves?
Yeah, exactly.
And has there been any instance in recent news about discrimination within the city of Houston?
Yeah, actually, not too long ago, there was a case of a club in a neighborhood not too far from here that had some discriminatory practices around their door and entry and the cover that they charge for people to come inside. And since then, this other evidence of their discrimination has kind of emerged, both in video and then other witnesses or people who've been discriminated against. And the fact of the matter is that right now those people don't have any local remedy or recourse to take action against that club. And so
this would put that legal action into place.
Precisely. Yeah.
Wow. And how has HERO been obscured or underreported in mainstream media?
Beyond the kind of crazy extreme messages of the opposition, the fact is that HERO has been in the news since last year, the middle of last year. And so it's lost a little bit of its momentum in the media, and so there's not a whole lot of coverage that we see today for that reason.
Right, and because last year it was initially brought to the Texas Supreme Court, which then ruled for it to be up to public vote in Houston.
Yeah, this year actually the Supreme Court of Texas ruled that it needed to go on the ballot here in November, and so that's why we're here even after City Council passed this ordinance last year.
Right, so now it should be more important now more than ever to cover it in news because it's up to Houstonians, and as you had mentioned to me in previous conversation that the election turnout was abysmal for the last mayoral election, 7%. Right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's no longer just in the city council chambers. It's now up to Houston voters to make sure that Proposition 1 now passes on the ballot in November. And you're right, it was something like 175,000 people showed up in the last mayoral election in a city of 2.2 million. And so not only is that an engagement problem, but also it's a problem of people that clearly, I firmly believe that non-discrimination and protection for this 15 groups of people is a Houston value that people care about.
Right.
And now we just need those people to show up at the polls.
Right, because yeah, like we said, what message would it send to the rest of the country about the city of Houston, a city that we both love so much?
Precisely.
If this ordinance didn't pass.
Yeah, and as a state and as a city who's looking to attract business from outside of our boundaries and the boundaries of our country, the message that sends if this were to fail is not one of inclusion and is not
a welcoming
message at all.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. This was incredibly informative.
Thank you.
And if you're a Houstonian watching, or if you know a Houstonian, encourage them to go out and vote for equal rights with the HERO ordinance. Thank you so much for watching on the Map Off the Radar.